Hello, welcome back to the Bar Gym Reviews. Today, Rogue Fitness is one of the most respected brands in the home gym space. But let's be honest, just because something has the Rogue logo doesn't mean that it automatically belongs in your gym. So today, I'm going to be doing something just a little bit different. Instead of the best of the best list or the best things you can buy from Rogue, I'm going to kind of mix them together, mix the products. So I'm going to tell you the things that I believe are absolutely worth buying, ones that I've used, a lot of them I've used, and some that, well, maybe you should really stop and think before pulling out that credit card and buying that item. So, this is all from a real home gym owner's perspective. Space matters, budget matters, and how often you actually use something really matters. I have links to everything I mentioned down below, including my Rogue affiliate that I just started with Rogue. Thank you, Rogue, which helps support the channel at no extra cost to you. And you can find the full reviews, comparisons, and updates over at thebargymreviews.com. And also on this YouTube channel, we have a lot of Rogue products. I do a lot of Rogue reviews. I do individual reviews on many of the products that are going to be featured in this video. So let's get into it. All right, so let's start with something simple and relatable, the Rogue Curl Bar. This is one of those pieces where, yes, the more expensive you buy doesn't always have the outcome that you desire, but I feel like you immediately feel where the money went on the curl bar here from Rogue. The angles are very comfortable, in my opinion. The balance is there. The knurling is exactly what you expect from Rogue, grippy, but not obnoxiously grippy, especially for curls. And if you train arms even semi-regularly, this is something you'll reach for every single week, if not every day, if you can get that arm training in as much as possible. And that's the key here. Frequent use is what makes something worth the money in the home gym. Now, let's bring it directly over to the other side of the conversation and what you should look at maybe twice. So something that you should reconsider or think about twice is Rogue's lineup of specialty bars. So I just had the curl bar, technically a specialty bar, but we're talking about all the other specialty bars. Most of them are kind of too expensive. Obviously, they take up a lot of space and they're heavy. And I just feel like there's other products on the market that might be a little bit better at the cost. So if you already have your rack, your barbell, your plates, and basics, sure, specialty bars can be fun. They can be useful as well. But for most home gym owners, this ends up being an occasional use item, and it just can't justify the price. The safety squat bar from Rogue, it just hasn't been updated in a long time. There are much better options from, Rep and maybe Bells of Steel. And then when you think about like trap bars, they really haven't updated their trap bar in a long time. Now, does it do exactly what it's supposed to do? Yeah. But we're in the market of open-ended trap bars. We have open-ended trap bars with rotating handles, changing handles, different options of handles for width and height. So at the end of the day, I feel like this is one where Rogue is just kind of behind the eight ball, but there are other options out there. But if you really love their safety squat bar, maybe you used it and you really enjoyed it, or maybe you buy something like, the Kabuki Transformer bar. Price is crazy. Make sure you use the affiliate link if you're going to buy something that expensive. But really, if you fall in love with it, use it. But it's something you definitely should think twice about when it comes to the specialty bars from Rogue. All right, now let's swing back to something I think most everyone, especially if you own cables, you should own this. That is the Rogue Lat Bar. This is a boring purchase in the best possible way. There's great knurling on this. The Ohio knurling is just perfectly grippy, especially if you get that stainless steel that I have. It is a very comfortable with, but one that you can change your grip as well. And it's just something that if you've used it once, you're going to use it consistently. And that instantly improves, your pull days. And I know it's not flashy. Is it still worth it? Because it's built so well. It's just that perfect lat pull down bar that you're never going to have to buy another lat pull down bar. Now, they do have a black oxide version, or black e-coat version, I should say, that is a little bit more affordable. But if you can do it, I think the stainless steel is just an amazing purchase. for your cable setup. All right, next up, something that you should probably think twice about, and that's going to be the low row foot plate, which is a great product. It does what it does really well, but it's also really specific. It does one thing. It does it well, but it still just does that one thing. I'll be honest with you, it does take a lot of time to set up. It's really heavy. It's not really used every workout. And, you know, for commercial gyms or something that has maybe a dedicated space for that low row for the foot plate, it could be a great option. But for home gym owners, I think it's something that, you know, buy it if you think you're actually going to use it, or it's just something in your training you absolutely have to have. I find myself a lot of times with the foot plate, I do lat pull downs first, and then it's a process to get my bench pulled out, to get everything moved, and then move the foot plate over, which is really heavy. Doesn't have a great storage option for you. Like there's no place to store it really, not in the rack at least, and that just makes it less appealing to use. So what I end up doing is, if I have to, then I'll just do dumbbell rows instead of maybe cable rolls. When I could do cable rows if I had a dedicated station. Luckily for me, this came with my Rhino belt squat trainer. But if you're looking to buy it individually, I would definitely reconsider or at least think twice before purchasing. Quick break here because it's the new year, and if your resolution is to train harder, stay consistent, or finally clean up your nutrition, this is where most people fall off the rails. That's why Trifecta Meals has come in clutch for me. They send fully cooked, organic, high protein, designed for people that train. There's no meal prep here. There's no guessing. There's no excuses. You know everything that's going to be delivered to your door, and it keeps you sticking to your plan. When motivation fails in January or into February, systems matter. And having meals ready to go makes it easier to keep your new year goal alive past the 1 month mark. If nutrition is the resolution you don't want to quit this year, check out Trifecta Meals in the link below and make consistency easy a part of your fitness routine. Make sure you check that below. Helps out the channel. Back to the video. All right, next up, something that I think you should purchase, and Rogue deserves a lot of credit here. That's a lot of their newer cable attachments. Now, I do have an older cable attachment with this triangle grip. Honestly, it just works really, really, really well. But there is a totally new, refreshed lineup from Rogue. I love the crossbow. I like some of the collaborations they've been having with other companies as well. And I just feel like the aluminum, adding aluminum handles, aluminum chassis and bodies, has made the cable attachments from Rogue a lot better. Now, I can't remember all the names because they always have a lot of names and letters and numbers, but I finally feel like their attachments are very competitive with the other brands on the market. And that's something that I can't always say it was a strength of Rogues, but now that they're putting all that time and investment into their functional trainers, their all-in-ones, I feel like this is a really solid time to buy Rogue cable attachments. All right, let's think about another product that you should think about. It used to be the most polarizing piece in the home gym, if we're thinking like 2021, probably. That's going to be lever arms. They look incredible on Instagram, but in reality, they take time to set up. The Rogue ones specifically are built really well, obviously, being a Rogue product. However, they lack that mobility from side to side. They're kind of just an up and down. They require constant adjustments. They take up the entire front part of your RM6 or whatever post you have, and they just don't get used as much as people expect. Some lifters absolutely love them, and if that's something that you have in your training that you really enjoy, then by all means buy it. But for a lot of home gym owners, these end up being more hassle than value. All right, a buy for me is definitely the multi-roller accessory attachment for your rack. It does not seem necessary until you use it. I've used it for an onslaught of different exercises. I've used it, as the setup for maybe split squats. I've used it on my Rogue Rhino trainer. I've used it as just like a seat to sit on between sets. You can use it, for hip thrusts. You can use it for a lot of things. And honestly, it just feels really, really comfortable. Obviously, you can use it for lat pull downs. That's its primary use as it goes across the rack. but this is a really sneaky, yes, expensive, but high value upgrade for your gym, especially not just for lat pull downs, but all the other exercises you can do in between. All right, one product to think twice about is going to be the GHD. It is an incredible piece of equipment, but there are some real trade offs here. There is a big footprint, limited movement variety of exercise you could really do on that. It's really easy to neglect, leave in a corner, and never use. And honestly, if you're just not using a GHD right now, you're not using it consistently, it becomes a really expensive piece of equipment that can just sit there and collect dust. So for most home gym owners, the space alone that it takes up is a tough sell. But there's also other companies that provide the exact same piece of equipment for hundreds of dollars less. Now, Rogue makes a great product. They use it in their CrossFit games. They use it all over the place. But again, if it's not specific to your training, I just wouldn't buy it, or at least I'd think about it twice. All right, a product that's definitely worth a purchase, in my opinion, especially if you like iron plates, is the Rogue deep dish plates. They are fantastic. They're easily to handle than those thinner iron plates because they have this nice lip here. It's a classic look that most lifters love, unless you're my wife because they're too loud, right? But this is one of those, yeah, you buy once, cry once, you keep it forever items, and they just make training feel good and look good, obviously. So, deep dish plates, definitely a buy for me if you're going to buy from Rogue. Obviously, their other plates are great as well, but if you're just looking for that classic look, there's very few that have that perfectly cast iron, kind of heavy metal feel, but also look modern in their own right. All right, so one that I would think about again or think twice before buying, and this is going to upset at least one person, Home Gym Harry, and that's going to be a reverse hyper. The Rogue reverse hyper, they have a few different options, but let's just be honest, they're really expensive. They take up space, and most people don't actually need it or even use it. There are some options that fold up, like the West Side barbell version, but let's be honest, are you gonna fold that up? Home Gym Harry, are you folding that up? I don't think you are, right? So unless you're rehabbing, dealing with a back issue, maybe it's something for a specific workout for competing, maybe. This is a huge commitment for a home gym, and it's an amazing tool. I just don't think it's for everyone unless you're really looking for a fancy and expensive, countertop table to put your pre-workout and post-workout drinks on, because I think that's what most people use them for. All right, next up, a purchase. And this is something that I know I don't have in my gym, but I've used it in other spaces. There's no fancy screen, there's no subscription here, just pain. And that's the Echo Bike. It is brutally effective, incredibly durable, and still just one of the best conditioning tools available on the market, regardless of what company you're buying from. So, if you want a simple piece of cardio equipment that works, that is no nonsense, this is an easy purchase for you, but I have warned you, it is brutal. Now, one thing that I would buy is any barbell from Rogue. Their lineup is legendary for a reason, whether it's, the Ohio bar, maybe a power bar, a Bella bar, a deadlift bar, everything in that lineup is at an extremely perfectly placed price and feels great, holds up forever, has a lifetime warranty. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. These are some of the safest purchases that you can make from Rogue, is any kind of barbell that you can buy from them. I highly recommend, personally, I have the Rogue Ohio Power Bar here in that black Cerakote. We also have a Bella Bar if you're looking for a little thinner diameter and something with a little more passive knurling. But I've also had my hands on the Ohio Bar, and it feels amazing as well. And they have everything from E-coat, bare steel, all the way up to stainless steel and these Cerakote finishes that can match the aesthetic. And they just look really cool and really durable, especially if you're going to be outside. They just have every option available to you. And I think at an extremely affordable price for what you get. There are some barbells out there that are the premium ones that do get up into the six, seven, $800 mark or even more, like looking at you, Aleko. But also, you don't want to skip out and skimp on the barbells that are really cheap, like something from Amazon. You want something that can be guaranteed and, well, in Rogue's case, guaranteed for life. So definitely, probably the number one thing I would say from Rogue to purchase, and I would buy again in a heartbeat, is their lineup of barbells. All right, another thing that I would purchase is Rogue's bread and butter as well, and that's racks and squat stands. They're overbuilt, they're versatile, they're backed by a massive attachment ecosystem, especially the monster versions of them. So, if you're committing to Rogue long term, this is where the money makes the most sense. They do have different options for you as well. You could just buy a squat stand. They have monster light versions, they have the monster versions. So just know that the Rogue ecosystem is there for you, and it's the durability that you can trust. It's something that I don't think I could envision myself buying any other power rack out there. No matter the company, I love my Rogue RM6, and the attachment game is wonderful there. If you really enjoy power racks from Rogue, make sure you check out some of my other videos. I've gone over my Rogue RM6, including the belt squat that I have dropped in there, that Rogue Rhino trainer. Make sure you look at those, and also look at the other equipment reviews we have here at the Bar Gym Reviews. This is a buy for me. Yes, it's expensive, but it's right for the right lifter, and that's the Rogue Rhino belt squat trainer. It delivers a real belt squat feel, saves your backs, adds serious lower body volume without beating up that lower back or beating up the rest of your posterior chain. If longevity matters to you, it's one of the best machines that Rogue sells. It's also very versatile. You can do a lot of things with the belt squat trainer. It has a lat pull down. If you get the functional trainer, there are functional trainer options to make it an all-in-one on your rack. And you can also do other exercises like split squat. You could stand and do curls. You could do deadlifts. You could do curls, kind of like a machine. I do them on my multi-roller as well. There's just a lot of options for you. And yes, it's kind of an expensive addition to the home gym, but the versatility proves its worth. All right, finally on my list, things that you should definitely buy off of Rogue, and that is anything Mutant Metals or Darko. These are premium accessories designed by lifters for lifters, no fluffs, no gimmicks. They're not necessarily cheap, but they're thoughtfully designed and extremely well made from Rogue, but designed by small fabricators in mind, and they get a chunk of the change. So I love my Mutant Metals arc attachment. I love my dip station, my ultimate dip attachment. I love the products I have from Darko. Obviously, being an affiliate of Darko, use the link obviously in the description, but they make great products over at Darko and Mutant Metals. And this, the arc, is just a match made in heaven. So if you see Mutant Metals, if you see Darko on the website and they're on there, make sure you give them a look as well. If I can honestly say, anything Mutant Metals and anything Darko that is on Rogue's website, I would definitely purchase. All right, so at the end of the day, Rogue makes some of the best equipment in the industry, but knowing what to buy now and what to really, think about maybe for later or maybe just exclude makes you a smart home gym buyer. If you want links to anything I've mentioned, make sure you check out the affiliates in the description below, including Rogue, which is a new affiliate for the channel. Super excited there. Make sure that you follow and help us support the channel and get full reviews, comparison updates, head-to-head reviews from different products around the industry. I also have blogs that I put up, here and there on the bargymreviews.com. So if this video was helpful for you, make sure you hit the like, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification for the Bar Gym Reviews. Drop a comment as well. What Rogue product do you think is overrated and which do you think is totally worth it? So make sure you do all those things, and we'll see you guys next time.